of understanding the matrix. Now, the thing with reincarnation is, if you don't subscribe to that theory, then the whole matrix idea falls apart, because you're playing a video game essentially, and you're controlling it from the inside out. That's the only thing you're doing. So when you're not connected to the matrix, then it doesn't work. And if you don't get to play another level or a second game when you're out, then it's all useless. So historically and spiritually and religiously, there is a lot of evidence for reincarnation. And the Matrix is just another great example of how reincarnation must be a thing, because the Matrix could not operate without it. So when you enter this game, you're born. Well, actually, like many things that I say, even this is debatable, because apparently not everyone is born. There are some things called walk-ins. We'll talk about that later. We have a very good indication for clones and robots. And there is also a very popular opinion that only 1 in 5 you encounter on the street are actually people, and the other 4 are non-playing characters, because of the simple fact that we need puppets to fill this earth. So there's a thing that kind of nibbles on the idea of overpopulation. So I'm, if this turns out to be true, and people that are strong believers in overpopulation, this is going to be a doozy. So I just wonder how they're going to figure that out. Anyway, so reincarnation, for what I can see, is a thing. There are also a lot of misunderstandings, I think, about reincarnation. In the New Age area, you see a lot of people that are saying, well, you choose your own parents. Okay, that could be so, but I don't think so. Because if you're playing a video game, you know there's a hard level coming up. And if you subscribe to the idea of a reincarnation, then you're going to have to accept that some levels you need to do a couple of times. So you need to come back. Well, you can get tired of that level and then look for a cheat. So why would you be the one to choose your parents if then you don't learn the lesson? Because the whole idea of being here is learning the lesson. That's one of the things that globalists have fundamentally wrong about life on Earth. They think that if they regulate everything, if everything is just the same, people are the same, they follow the rules, that's the best way to live. But actually, the best way to live is through real diversity and real adversity. So you need these conflicts, you need these differences in interest. You need to be fighting for a bit, not bringing in your tanks and shooting rockets and killing people. No, you need to have the argument, you need to have the debate, you need to have the differences of opinion. Because if you don't have that, then life on Earth is meaningless. So this whole globalistic agenda and the New World Order and everybody in line is basically killing the the reason for life on Earth. So I don't think that that's a particularly good idea. Anyway, what I think is that you assign your lessons. So you choose your lessons. You know, you've done that level and you know, I've done it again. I didn't get the message, so I have to do this thing again. So you choose your things, and then you get assigned parents that will suit that purpose mostly. I do think you, in certain areas, you get to choose specifically. That's also something that we'll get into later. But I think that has to do with instant karma. So when you've been a really bad boy or bad girl in your last attempt at the latest level, or maybe for multiple lives, multiple levels, you've been, well, big a-hole to be exact, then it might be so that you need something to clear your karma. So then you get to do something, you get to be the victim. And usually it doesn't end very well for these victims because they usually get killed or abused or both at a young age. So that's something that we'll get into later. One of the things that I know for sure is that people that commit suicide, they will be instantly thrown back into the game. You can't just you have to play out the level. If you don't play out the level, then the game constructors are just going to go, oh man, you need to get back out there. So then you do instantly, and you go instantly into the same messages and the same area. So now, last time we talked about hints. So if you want to know more about this, just look up films and series or even documentaries. That some documentaries work like a film. They describe some of the realities that you should see, but they leave out the important part because that's for you to find out. So concerning reincarnation, just find your chosen video, your preferred video type, and try to get these lessons out, because there are a lot of hints in many movies and many series. These are a little more subtle, so we're getting into the good part now. So reincarnation is not something to be debated when you're discussing the matrix theory, because, well, basically it's based entirely, the matrix theory is based entirely on replaying the levels, getting back into the game. So if you're not getting back into the game, then it's useless. Also find clues in books. I find it astonishing that many of the concepts that are rejected by Christianity are actually, if you have the right text, if you have the right words of the original script, you will find Bible pieces that actually describe the things they are rejecting. For instance, the zodiac. The zodiac is one of the things a lot of Christians, they say, well, astrology, that's just satanic practices. Well, if you look at a scripture closely, you will see a lot of the number 12. That's the 12 numbers in the zodiac. You will see metaphors for seasons, which are very much aligned with astrology. So many of these things are astrological things. The gods, the Greek gods, the Roman gods, they were all connected to astrology. and mythology. So just find your books and find your video materials, because there is many material out there that will set you on the path of reincarnation. And to be honest, when you can't get your head around the concept of reincarnation, then you will never get the message of the Matrix, because the Matrix is all about repetitive things. I've seen many clips of people that claim to have extraterrestrial contact, and they say there's a council out there. They're looking at Earth, and we were supposed to be the most emotional race in the galaxy, and we're supposed to be an intergalactic species, but we're just too young. We're relatively young as a species in the galaxy, so we're just children playing with fire. And that's why we need to learn. And apparently they're looking at us, and with all their rationality, they're going, why aren't they learning the lesson? Well, maybe because you've made us really emotional, and that kind of gets in the way of our rational thinking about this. So that is actually stopping us from making the right moves quickly. This is also very contradictive thing, but these are the things we need on Earth. We need these differences. We need well, I don't want to sound political. This is not political at all, but you need a left and you need a right, and you need somewhere in between. And in the end, it's the people in the middle that are going to understand that both of the extremes have their merit, and that the truth, for however much the truth is a thing on this planet, the truth is somewhere in the middle, because you need both sides, you need both extremes. The people that are the best at living a regular life are the ones that have been really poor and really rich, and decided that their fate is somewhere in the middle, and that's the way to go. So moderation is the key here, and that's basically what we're trying to learn on this planet. So I hope you guys can get on board with the whole reincarnation thing, because that's without that, it's very hard to follow the rest of the series. I'm not trying to cut you out. You're welcome to watch if you want, but it's going to make it hard, because that's just one of the constructs that makes these things tick. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This was a relative short one, but I'll hope to see you in part 3. All right. Bye.